In this video, we're going to see how to change the font and size of your documents in Microsoft Word. Now, there are two ways you can do this. One is if you already have text and you want to change the font and size of what you already have typed. So that's the example here. And the key here is that you need to select what you want to change. That is, you're telling Microsoft Word, do something to this text. So if you're going to change something you've already done, the first thing you need to do is to highlight it all. We select it all. Okay? So that's what I've done here. I've selected it. So I'm telling Word, I want you to do something to this text. And so you look up here in the top left and you see a list of fonts. So from here you can change the font. What we have is the default. We'll change it to Times New Roman, which is typically the standard. So we change it to Times New Roman. I just pulled this down and go to the font that I want. To change the size, notice my text is still selected. I pull this menu down and I can change it to 12, 14, 16, whatever. 12 is standard. So we have changed it to Times New Roman 12. Now you can also do other things with the text. You can have different formatting. You can make it bold, which is this B here. If you do that, it's bold. Click it again and it's unbold. You can have italics. Click again and it's italics. You can underline it or not. Okay, so you can choose which of those you want. An interesting thing here on the underlining, there are several types of underlining. For example, you have single line, double line, dotted line. You also have the option, for example, you can if you pull that down to more underlines, you bring this up, you could underline just the words, which would mean all the individual spaces are not underlined. If we select that, you see the sample down here of what it's going to look like. Okay, each word is underlined as opposed to the whole thing. So that's how you change the font and size of your text. Now I said there are two ways to deal with changing the font and the size. One is what I've showed you about changing text that you already have. But if you are starting to type a paper, it's going to be better if you set that at the very beginning. So let's say that we have a new document, and what I'm going to do here is before I start typing anything, I'll go up here and I'll set my font to Times New Roman 12. Now, when I start typing, you see that it's already in Times New Roman 12. This is a key for a lot of things. If you make some settings before you start typing, then it's all going to be automatically that way. If you type it first, then you have to go back and be sure that you've selected the text. So either before you type it or afterwards, that's how you're going to change the font and the size.